In this video, I want to talk about trig ratios in trigonometry. And trigonometry ratios are called sine, cosine and tangent. You may remember this from your junior cert. Sine is sometimes called sin or sine for short, cosine is called cos for short, and tangent is called tan for short. And indeed on your calculators you will see that there are buttons that are called sin, cos, tan in your calculator. So what is sin, cos and tan? Okay, if I have a triangle here, notice it's a right angle triangle. Here's the right angle. In the previous videos and the previous lesson, we learned how to label a right angle triangle. For sin, cos and tan, we must label them H, O and A. Starting with H, the hypotenuse is always the longest side and it's always across from the 90-degree angle. So you guys should know that this is H. In previous videos, when we did Pythagoras' theorem, we said that O and A don't really matter. We said this could be O or it could be A and this could be O or A. We just said H was the most important. However, when we are doing questions with sine, cos and tan, O and A do matter. If we're talking about an angle here, in this triangle, an angle here, and we call this letter here theta. Theta represents a mystery angle. If this is our mystery angle, I want you to imagine an arrow firing across the triangle. And the number 3 here is opposite. It's opposite theta. It's opposite theta. So because it's opposite theta, we call it O. This is O for opposite. Okay, so we're going to label this one O. And this number 4 here is beside angle theta. It's beside it. And an old-fashioned word for beside is a word called adjacent. So you might say that the neighbours adjacent to you are very loud in the morning. That would mean that the neighbours next door to you are very loud in the morning. So adjacent is an old-fashioned word for beside. And we use A for adjacent. So the number 4 here would be A. So we got H, O and A. So what's this got to do with sine, cos and tan? Well, we have to learn a definition of what sine is. The sine of an angle is always equal to the opposite divided by the hypotenuse, O over H. So in this case, in this example, the sine of this angle here would be O over H, which would be 3 over 5. So in our example, it's 3 over 5. So sine of theta would be 3/5. Cosine is always your A divided by your H, your adjacent divided by your hypotenuse. In this particular example, it's 4 divided by 5, 4/5. And tan is always O over A, which in this example is 3 over 4. So what I need you guys to learn is that sine is O over H, cosine is A over H, and tan is O over A. To help you remember this, there is a memory aid I like to use. You remember the word sa, ka, toa. It's not a real word, but if you say it a few times, sa, ka, toa, this stands for sine is O over H. So sine is O over H. Ka, C-A-H. Cosine is A over H. And toa, tan is O over A. And this is my favorite memory aid, SOHCAHTOA. There are other ones, like silly old Harry caught a herring trawling off America. If you prefer that, that's fine. Silly old Harry caught a herring trawling off America. Or there's another one that says, oh, hell, another hour of algebra. And how this one works is O over H, then A over H, and then O over A. However, it doesn't tell you which one is sine, cos, and tan. So you'd have to remember that the first one is sine, then cos, then tan. My favourite, as I said, is SOHCAHTOA, and that's what I will be referring to in subsequent lessons. So in the next video, I want to show you an example of a question using SOHCAHTOA.